After a brilliant under-21 Euros for Harvey Elliott, I sit here and I tell you, we should not be selling the Englishman. We need to keep him. And there's also an update from Ben Jacobs regarding Marc Guehi. Will he be a Liverpool player or will he not be a Liverpool player? Or will it be delayed until next summer? People, it's an impromptu catch-up show. I haven't spoken to you guys in a while. There's a little bit of news. Sit back, relax. Let's talk about it.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
All the good work.
The two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Guehi. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Big up to every one of you watching. Please do smash that like button, subscribe, and share, and leave your comments as well, people. You know how it goes here with the community. Agreements, disagreements, banter, fun, jokes, all good. Abuse will not be tolerated. You know how it goes, guys. I don't have to tell you guys. We're pros at this now. Right. I've got a couple of topics to discuss. And already I'm seeing like a split in the comment section regarding this player, and that is Harvey Elliott. Shout out to Umar saying he lacks pace and power to start with us. He's got to go. Others saying, where is he going to get the minutes? Tway saying the people saying Elliott isn't good enough for Liverpool is lies. I want him to stay. This player splits opinion, not as much as other players, but still does. However, I'm very much on the side of keeping Elliott. Now, I am half resigned to losing him because I do think we will potentially sell him and cash in on him this summer. However, I think it could be a mistake. And look, who am I to sit here and criticize the club and talk about mistakes, this, that, and the other? I'm just a guy who sits behind a computer and a camera and shares his opinion. I'm no oracle. I do not have the answers. However, I do think I've amassed a lot of knowledge over the years regarding football, especially Liverpool Football Club. And I do think we are potentially making a mistake by selling Harvey Elliott. And I'm going to break it down. So he currently is a European under-21s champion and winner with England. In my opinion, the player of the tournament. He got a brace in the semi-final and got a goal in the final. Why do I think it's important for Liverpool to keep him on a surface level? We have no natural cover for Mohamed Salah. And if Szoboszlai is going to move into the pivot and we have a couple of injuries, then Florian Wirtz is going to need rotation. And that's where Elliott also comes in. Salah is going to the AFCON. We need some balance on that side, in my opinion. Now, I know people say you can throw Diaz over there if he's still at the club. If we get Fofana, you can throw him over there. I want someone who's naturally played there and gives more balance to the team by playing there, in my humble opinion. And I can see Harvey Elliott faring better with a Conor Bradley or a Frimpong playing on that side because he's someone who can drift infield, allow the runner to go on the outside, or he can even hold the touchline and play passes through to an ongoing Frimpong or Conor Bradley. Not just that, and I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, just bear with me. He's homegrown. Our homegrown status is not the best at the moment. Shout out to Liverpool, though, for signing Freddie Woodman. That's a bit of a pause for a name still, but, you know, it is what it is. I think it's a very good signing Woodman to Liverpool. You guys know my feelings on the homegrown and the fact that it gets overlooked by a lot of our fans. Harvey Elliott is someone who qualifies for homegrown. I think he's one of the better homegrown players that are available and out there, and we already have him at the club, so why not keep him? I want to break down, though, where this has all come from in terms of Elliott and why he potentially want to move on. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys now. I hope you guys can see this. So these are the minutes and the statistics of him playing in the 24-25 season. So as you'll see, he played 2 games left wing, 5 games right wing, 10 games in attacking midfield, and a further 6 in centre midfield. So once again, it shows his versatility, even though you'd argue his 2 best positions are the 10 and right wing. As we go deeper into the statistics, he played a total of 28 games. So 18 appearances in the league, 3 in the Carabao, 5 in the Champions League, and 2 in the FA Cup. He got a grand total of 5 goals with a spread of 1 in the Premier League and Carabao Cup and 3 in the Champions League. Just to put that in context, he got the same amount of goals as Luis Diaz did in the Champions League, which for me is pretty impressive considering he played far less minutes. And he also registered 2 assists and 1 assist in the Carabao and Premier League, respectively, giving a total of 8 GA in 822 minutes. If you actually break down his Premier League GA, he actually recorded a goal or an assist every 150 minutes in the Premier League. Now, again, doesn't sound massively impressive, but when you actually break down the minutes he got, which was 360 minutes, that is very good and a very good output. I think another thing people forget, he actually suffered a bad injury at the beginning of the season. You remember he broke his foot. And again, at the beginning of the season, a lot of people were clamoring for Harvey Elliott to start. So Boslai came off the back of a really bad end previous season. Didn't start the season very well. And as soon as it seemed like Harvey Elliott was potentially going to get his chance, boom, struck down with injury, out of the team for a while. And then because we were on a winning run, because Slot wanted to keep that consistency, because it was Slot's first season and didn't really know what to do in terms of rotation, he decided to continue with Szoboszlai. And Szoboszlai had a very good season. So no qualms there. It just meant that Harvey Elliott didn't get as many games. And I think that the thing that I think sticks out in people's minds the most is that Plymouth game. And look, he gave away the penalty in that game, didn't have a great game. But neither did Diaz, neither did Jota, who got plenty more chances throughout the rest of the season. Neither did Nunes, neither did Chiesa, neither did McConnell. No one had a good game that day. No one had a good day. And I think it's unfair for us as a fan base to use that as the barometer for Harvey Elliott when we've seen so many other good performances. So you look at his overall minutes, overall games played, 28 and 822. So that was the first season under Slot. Now, if we compare that to the previous season, which was Klopp's last season, the 23-24 season, he played 16 games right wing, 13 games in attacking midfield, and 24 in centre midfield. He played a grand total of 34 games in the Premier League. 1,335 minutes, so almost 1,000 more minutes the season before in the Premier League. And he got 12 GA, 3 goals, 9 assists. Again, very good output for someone who was playing not in the 10, but playing right centre midfield a lot of that time. In the Europa, he played 10 games, got 4 assists. In the FA Cup, he played 3 games, got 1 goal, 1 assist, and he didn't get any goals or assists in the Carabao. However, the final against Chelsea, he was one of the best players on that pitch. He was absolutely incredible. And then even followed that up with another great performance. I believe it was against Southampton, if I'm not mistaken, a few days later. Harvey Elliott had a great season that season. And he played a total of 53 games, 4 goals, 14 assists, and 2,786 minutes. Again, almost 2,000 more minutes than what he played the previous season. So now people are going to obviously ask the question, where does he get the minutes going forward? Well, for me, that's a pretty easy answer. Florian Wirtz can't play all the minutes, and he'll be new to the league and will need to be rested. Salah's going AFCON and will also need to be rested. Why not play him as someone who can cover Wirtz and Salah? And I'm seeing a lot of you saying this English tax and sell him now because it's worth it. A genuine question. If we sell Harvey Elliott, who do we go out and buy who can play in the 10 or right wing as good or better than him? And I'm not saying you can't find players out there better than him. I'm saying who can you go and get that's better than him? Because I genuinely would like to know. I'm seeing some of you saying he's a crap right winger. He gets quite a lot of his GA from right wing. Shout out to Fofana. Fofana is not a great right winger. He plays left. He's a left winger. Eze doesn't play right wing. Diblin's a good shout, but I don't think he's better than Harvey Elliott. Akalush is a baller, absolute baller. I don't know if he comes to sit on the bench. He might do, but he's not homegrown either. I don't get the notion of us wanting to win multiple trophies but then not wanting to have squad depth. Slot seems like he wants 6 attackers for 3 positions. We have Gakpo and Diaz. We currently have Jota and Nunes. And then at the moment, we just have Salah and Chiesa. Chiesa's going. Nunes is going. Diaz might be going. Why not just keep Harvey Elliott? And again, everyone knows I'm a fan of Tyler Diblin. I'm a massive fan. But is Tyler Diblin better than Harvey Elliott? I don't think he is. If Harvey sits down and says, look, I want to go. I have to go. I need more minutes. I want to be a starter every week. And we can sell him for 50 and bring in Tyler Diblin for 30. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But I think there is a world where we can convince Harvey Elliott to stay at Liverpool a bit longer. And the reason I say that, he's a Liverpool fan. He loves the club. Every time he steps across that white line, he gives 100% effort. And he's a very good footballer. Now, again, you can do the whole, we can sell him and put a buyback clause. We can. We can absolutely do that. But we could also just keep the player. Someone who knows the club. Someone who knows the club well. I honestly think he's a player worth keeping. I really do. I really, really do. And I'm not saying it's a disaster if we sell him, because obviously he's not a world-class player and not close to being a world-class player. But I think you could do a lot worse than keeping him. I really don't get it. I really don't get the want to sell Harvey Elliott. He's a very good player for cup games as well. You think of the rotation for cup games. Let's say we go with the current squad that we have right now. The starting 4 would be Wirtz in the 10, maybe Gakpo, Diaz, and Salah, right? The backup to that would be, you could go Elliott in the 10, someone on the right, Jota on the left potentially, and Nunes. Again, not the greatest. Or you could go Harvey on the right. I asked this question in a sense of, if Wirtz comes in and God forbid he picks up an injury or he's in a bad run of form, who takes his spot in the team? Who allows him to get some rest? Who allows him to recover? Who allows him some rotation? Because if we're not signing another centre midfielder, then Szoboszlai is going to be playing in the pivot. And I think he's going to be playing in the pivot a lot. Plus, a lot of you guys don't even want Szoboszlai in the 10. So, are we now saying Szoboszlai plays 10? Are we now saying Szoboszlai is going to be Wirtz's backup? Because I don't think Slot sees Szoboszlai as the Wirtz backup, if I'm going to be completely honest. I just think we should try and keep him. I personally think we should try and keep him. I don't want to see Jones in the 10. Absolutely don't want to see Jones in the 10. If we're I'll be real with you guys. Harvey Elliott is a better 10 than Curtis Jones. I'd go as far as saying Harvey Elliott has a higher ceiling than Curtis Jones as well. And I'm not even a Curtis Jones hater. Curtis Jones is not a 10. Not in the way we play. Curtis Jones is a very good pivot player. Very good pivot player. He's not a 10, though. Not in this current system. And Harvey Elliott, in my opinion, has a higher ceiling and is a better number 10. And he covers the right-hand side as well. Look, if we could have gone and got Ryan Shirky, I'm not even having this debate with you guys. I'm saying, look, you can sell Harvey Elliott, bring in Ryan Shirky. We're all good. He covers Ryan, covers 10. We didn't do that. Man City have got him. Tyler Diblin, that's the one that I'd look at because he's homegrown. We need some more homegrown players in the team, guys. I know I sound like a broken record. I know I keep on going on about it, but we do. Those are just the rules and those are the facts of it. We need more homegrown players. Hence why we just gone out and got a third choice homegrown goalkeeper. And I know people will sit there and go, Cal, you're being reactionary because of one tournament. If you've watched Kopish for a long time, you'll know that I've never wanted Elliott sold. I've always rated the kid. Always rated him. And for me, this is not reactionary. This is more of a justification why we should be keeping him, in my opinion. So that's just my thoughts on it. I'd love to hear yours. And yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. Right. Let's move on to another topic, and that is that of Ben Jacobs releasing an update regarding Marc Guehi. I'm just going to share the screen so I'll read out the tweet as well for those who are listening and can't watch. So Ben Jacobs tweeted today, Liverpool will only advance their interest in Marc Guehi if Crystal Palace's asking price drops. Liverpool have no plans to pay 45 to 50 million pounds. The price would need to be well south of this bracket. Liverpool are still assessing whether Guehi is a genuine market opportunity. Palace opened to sell, but Guehi hasn't ruled out running his current deal down. Game time is key for Guehi in a World Cup year. Liverpool also have other targets. Understand Richard Hughes is primarily focused on the 18 to 22 age bracket. Liverpool are inclined to bring in a defender who is Gerald Kwanzaa's age or younger, unless a deal for Guehi is simply too strong not to proceed with. There is an appreciation for Jiro Hato, which is also shared by Chelsea and Arsenal. Liverpool looked at Dean Howson earlier in the summer, but soon realised his priority was to join Real Madrid. Lenny Yoro and Levi Colwill, also historical targets. Both players further evidence of the ideal profile Liverpool are looking for. Now, there's a few things to delve into there. One, how much do you guys think, or how much is the maximum you'd pay for Marc Guehi? For me, in an ideal world, 35 mil. 35 mil for Guehi, I think, is fair in this current market, given what he's done and the fact that he's got 1 year left on his deal. The next question becomes, in the same way you guys are saying, Cal, put the fries in the bag, or Harvey Elliott ain't going to get enough minutes, will Guehi get enough minutes? And I'm not saying he won't get minutes. He'll get more minutes than Harvey Elliott, in my opinion. I'm not saying he won't get minutes. I'm saying, will he get enough to satisfy what he wants, given that it is a World Cup year? That is another question. And the final question is, do we sign 1 or 2 centre-backs? And before you guys cuss me out, yes, I want 5 centre-backs. I know that is an opinion shared by everyone. But do we sign 1 or 2 centre-backs this summer, considering we sold Jiro Kwanzaa? And again, I've got to call some people out. Going into last season, we said we wanted one other centre-back to replace Matip. During the season, we wanted to buy a centre-back without selling anyone. And now when I mention it, you guys do get at me, which for me is very inconsistent. In my opinion, we need 2 centre-backs. We need Guehi, in my opinion, and we also need a younger profile, someone of the 18 to 22-year-old range. For me, that would represent perfect, because you've got Virgil's experience, you've got Gomez's experience, you've got Ibu's experience, but Ibu's still coming into his peak. You'll have Guehi, who's about to come into his peak and being homegrown and a Premier League proven player. And you'd have the 5th choice, who, in my opinion, would be that 18 to 21-year-old. Someone like a Nathan Zizi, a Jiro Hato, a Lukeba. Now, for me, Joe Gomez would be 5th choice. And I would run that for 1 season and then try and replace him. But I ask you guys, what are your thoughts on this? How much would you pay for Marc Guehi? Because, as I said, I'd go up to 35 mil. I think 35 mil is fair for all parties. 40 mil at a push. Even 40, I think, is pretty high for Guehi. Shout out, big up yourself, Mane, Salah, Firmino. Lukeba and Diamonde. Look, that would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal. I rate Diamonde extremely high. I really do. I think he's a fantastic player. And as a player who, in my opinion, could replicate what Ibu does in a year or 2 time. Seeing a lot of you saying 35 to 40 max. Andre, you reckon 35 is too low? Fairs. Naldo reckons 40 mil. Sim says, I agree with 2 only if Gomez goes. No, I'd still prefer to keep Gomez if I'm going to be honest. No, miss, come on, bro. You got to listen to what I just said. I literally said Lukeba wouldn't be 5th choice. I literally said Gomez is 5th choice, Mr. Cake, Mr. Cat. I literally said Gomez 5th choice. I didn't say Lukeba 5th choice. I literally said Joe Gomez. You got to listen to what I'm saying, brother. This is a fair point. Don't Palace want Ben Doak? They do want Ben Doak. Could be interesting what happens there. Could do a player plus cash deal. I think another thing that Palace are looking at is the reason why they want such a high fee as well is because there's a 20% sell on to Chelsea. This is where Liverpool could be smart though, because if Palace do want Doak and the interest is serious, let's say Guehi is valued at 45 mil and we value Ben Doak at 25 mil. You could say, all right, instead of us paying you 45 mil, we'll do 20 mil and you get Ben Doak. So Chelsea get less money out of the deal and Palace get a player. Could be interesting. Shout out to Clark. I'm surprised to see you on a Sunday, broski. I'm surprised I'm doing this because anyone knows I was up late doing UFC last night. So I am feeling it a little bit. And I will be live straight after this show on the Sanderson Show to do a recap for UFC 317 as well. So please join me there on the road to 7K on that channel as well. And I'm literally like 5 or 6 subs away. Would be massively appreciative if you guys could join me over there. Shout out to Omar, says Schlotterbeck tore his ACL. Otherwise, I would have signed him. I do think he would have been the club's favoured and preferred option had he not picked up the injury. I still wouldn't be surprised if the club went in for him in the future as well. My guy here, Demi says Isak and Guehi next. Come on, that's the sort of energy I'm looking for on a Sunday. Here's another shout as well. Sell Morton to Palace plus 10. Tyler Morton is a player that Palace are looking at as well. And shout out to Tyler Morton, an excellent assist in the final. I mean, I did tell you guys it was generational. None of you wanted to believe me. I told everyone about Tyler. I did tell you. Hi, Joe, Van, crazy fight. Now though, always got the sniffles, bro. Always got the sniffles. If anyone can prescribe a genuine hay fever remedy or a sinus remedy, I am all ears. Please, guys, I'm all ears. Shout out to Shankly. Yeah, just going over this now at the moment. Shout out to Samir. He says Scalvini. I know Jamrock's a fan of Scalvini. Scalvini looks really good as well. He does look very good. Will cost a bomb in my opinion, but a very good centre back as well. So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. Not going to wrap up just yet. Probably going to give it another 10 minutes. So I want to open the floor to you guys. Whether it be a super chat, a normal chat, let me know your thoughts. I want to hear some questions. What questions have you got for me for the next 10 minutes? Anything you want to ask, within reason, obviously. Nothing crazy, guys. It's still Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. 10 minutes, guys. Ask me for anything you want to ask, and we'll chop it up. Jay says, is there any alternative that instead of us getting a young centre-back profile, we can get more an experienced rotational centre-back? Not off the top of my head. I can't think of anything. I think Joe Gomez could be that person. Tony says, do we get Isak? I think we do. I don't know how, but I think we do. This is crazy, Just Labs. What oil do you use? No comment. Don't want to be implicated in no Diddy trial or anything like that. Shout out to Dan, says eating local source honey helps with allergies. I've tried that, bro. I'm going to try it again. Shout out to Cop Class, says who would be your ideal Diaz replacement? Okay, so there's two ways of looking at this. Do you still see Diaz as a left winger or do you see him as a striker? I only see him as a striker now. So for the left wing, I'd like us to get I'd like us to have Gakpo and either Rodrigo or Fofana, depending on whether we're trying to replace Gakpo in the starting 11 or find an understudy. If I'm looking at a striker, if Lyon don't win their appeal, I would look at their Georgian centre forward. I cannot pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. But they have a Georgian centre forward. I'd maybe look at him, trying to get him on a cheap deal. And then going from there. If we're looking at left winger, then it's Rodrigo. I hope we don't sell Diaz though. Look, I understand his frustration. I just hope we don't sell him. Shout out to Ty, says, I told you to chew a piece of ginger 2 years ago. Do you know what? I'm gonna try that. I got nothing to lose at this point. I'm gonna try it. Shout out to Tony, says, does Diaz get sold? If so, would you take Malik Fofana? I don't think Diaz will be sold. And yes, I would take Fofana. I'd like us to sign Fofana even if Diaz isn't sold, because as I said, I'd like Diaz to run as a centre forward. Freedom says, only sell Harvey in part exchange for Isak. Oh, I mean, yeah, scrap everything I said in the first 15 minutes. If Isak's on the table and it means we have to give them Harvey Elliott as a make weight, then obviously I'm doing that. Like, we know what it is. Vinci says, why would you keep Elliott if Slot doesn't rate him and will get less minutes? So why don't we put the money towards Isak or something? No, I hear that. If Slot doesn't rate him, then I understand. I don't think Slot doesn't rate Harvey Elliott. I just don't think he saw a time to really give him game time last season, given the injury and all those things. I don't think he doesn't rate him, though. Shankly says, Cal, is 70 mil asking price for Nunes too high? Yeah, it is. Like, I'm not going to make no bones. It absolutely is too high. Darwin's had he's had one average year out of 3 seasons, and the other 2 were pretty poor, in my opinion. 70 mil is a hell of a lot to ask. But if we can get it, then by all means, we try. Scant, big up Scant, says, what's a good points haul from the first 5 games? 15? You know what, I'm on, Scants. Like, all jokes aside, I'd go 12 or 13 points. From the first 5 fixtures we've got, I'd go 12 or 13. Clark says, Guehi and Ekitike, I take that. Isak is too injury prone. Again, I know Isak's had his injuries, but no. For me, I prefer Isak over Ekitike. Shout out to Ty, says, it's not pleasant, but it works. Look, it's not pleasant sitting there sniffling all the time and not being able to breathe through my nose, bro. So I'll take a, do you know what? Let me not say that, because that's going to get clipped up. I'll eat some ginger and hope that it gets better. What other? This feels like a setup. This feels like a setup. Boil milk with hot chili and ginger and drink it. That sounds like vomit. And that sounds like it's going to make me vomit. That feels like a setup, AM. I don't know if I've done something to you this season or through the time I've been streaming. If I have, I apologize, but this sounds like you want me to die. And if so, that's very, very harsh. Shanti says, Cal, use a dehumidifier. We are going to get a few dehumidifiers for the house, if I'm going to be honest. We're going to get a couple, one upstairs and one downstairs. Here's a different question. Did he be found guilty or not guilty? I think he'll get off. I think he'll get away with it. Rich people seem to get away with these sort of things. So, yeah. Vito says, as for allergies, take a break from antihistamines. Then 5 days later, they work well again. I can't take a break. If I take a break, then my face is going to break. I literally can't take a break at the moment. That's the only thing giving me a little bit of pain-free situations at the moment. Shout out to Lakers. This is birthday tomorrow. Lakers, we're not going to drop the beat for you today. We are going to do that tomorrow during the Monday Night Live show. You deserve that on your birthday, bro. Hope you have a fantastic day tomorrow. I'll speak to you anyway, man. The Awakened Phoenix says, why keep Diaz if not playing him wing? The guy misses GA, aka end product. Makes no sense whatsoever, because I think he actually plays better now through the middle than he does on the wing for Liverpool. I don't think he has that killer pace anymore, or I don't think he beats a man as much as people think he does either. I feel like he takes the ball down and then passes it backwards, whereas the old Diaz, he came into Liverpool and did a madness. Jai says, is a CDM summer acquisition realistic for us, or will we just get a centre-back and a striker? I think we just get a centre-back and a striker. I'd love us to get a centre midfielder, but I don't think we will. I think the club are happy with what options we have. Again, we haven't got bad options by any stretch of imagination. We just won the Premier League. But I would like us to get like an Edison type of player. AM says, Cal, when are you going on loan with your curse? I knew it. I knew you were trying to set me up with that hot milk, chili, and ginger. I knew you didn't like me, bro. I knew it. And the curse is dead now. The curse is dead. What else have we got? Ash says ginger and turmeric with room temperature water. Back it. Pause. I'll try that as well. Now though, milk dilutes chili doesn't make sense. I told you, AM's trying to get me to throw up, bro. It's trying to get me to throw up. That sounds like one of those ancient poison missions. That's what it sounds like. See, Joe, milk is inflammatory. This is what I'm saying. You're trying to get me hurt, bro. You're not even trying to help me at this point. That concoction probably makes my face explode. The red guy says Subbo rotate with Mac and grab Elliott rotate with Verts. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. E. Taylor says, question, Cal. What do we do about Gravenberch if we get a proper 6? I haven't seen enough of him to start him in any other position. Okay, me personally, I think if you sign another 6, it becomes Grav and that 6 you rotate depending on your position. I think people forget what Grav actually was bought for. Grav is a box-to-box midfielder, in my opinion, by trade, and a very good one. Grav can do damage in and around the opposition box. We've seen him score goals for Liverpool. We've seen him be an attacking threat. We've seen him dribble past players and create for other players. I think we've forgotten that because he had such a great season in the pivot last season. If we had a DM playing next to Grav, I actually think you'd unsettle the other team because I think Grav would make so many runs. Case in point, the Man United game at Old Trafford. If you watch that game back, McAllister was actually the deepest line midfielder in that game. And Grav ran that game in a box-to-box role. Ran the game. If you put Edison next to Grav, for example, because you wanted to rest McAllister, Grav cooks. That's the beauty of having a Grav, because you can play him now in the defensive midfield role, or you can play him box-to-box if you find another DM. I honestly think he'd be brilliant as a box-to-box player and gives you longevity as well. Who's a realistic CDM if we already get a great striker? Edison for me. Camavinga would be amazing. I think everyone knows my thoughts on Camavinga, but it doesn't look like Real Madrid are going to sell. Adam Wharton's another one. Shout out to Michael. It's my birthday tomorrow as well. Remind me tomorrow on the Monday Night Live show, Michael, and we'll drop the beat for you as well, bro. Shout out to Eagle vs Shark. Said dehumidify in my bedroom has been a game changer. Yeah, I'm going to try it. Wow, Joe, you're trying to take me to take PEDs, bro. You're trying to get me to take PEDs. I'm not even an athlete. I could do it, but I won't. What else have we got? What if we got a couple more minutes, guys? I've got to shoot over to my other stream. Hopefully you guys will follow me there. You'll be redirected there, so I'll be greatly appreciated. Cal, the best thing to do is go in a sauna and chuck eucalyptus under the stones to clear up your sinuses. I've actually got a home sauna, and I've started putting for anyone in the UK, Alba oil. It's like menthol. So I've started doing that. That has helped me sleep a little bit better when I've used it. So I'm going to do that. The home sauna thing does work quite well. Again, it's just using it every day can be a bit costly on the electricity and all that stuff. PSG are cooking. Who are PSG playing, guys? I've not been able to keep up with the Club World Cup. Come on. Big up my guy, Saint in the building. Hope you're well, bro. Hope the family's well as well. Not gonna lie to you, Saint. I'm waiting for you to jump back on doing content, man. It's been a while, man. It's been a while since we've got to chop it up on a stream together. But I know the family's the most important, bro. So I'm ready, waiting whenever you're back, bro. But big up to you and the family as always. This is what I'm saying, bro. Everyone's forgotten about what Grav is. He's brilliant. He's brilliant in a box-to-box. Try Mullen tea. Where am I based? I'm based in South London, bro. Alba soil is the truth. It absolutely is, Joe. Mafalu, I've done that. I've got the thing where you put saline solution in the water and you squeeze out your nostril and it comes out your other nostril. I've tried all of that as well. It gives you, for me, it gives me brief relief, but not a lot outside of that. Ty says home sauna, man's eating good off the supers. Again, you guys should know me well enough by now. I always speak about how I live an FSG lifestyle. If you think I've got an expensive home sauna in my house, then you don't know me well enough. I've got a fabulous deal on it, and that's why I got it. In fact, I can't even take credit for it. The missus bought it. The missus bought it. If you are sitting there thinking I've got this big home sauna and you know I can fit 6-7 people in it, you're wrong. You're wrong and you're stupid, because that's not my life. Big says 180 milligram of fexofenadine will save your life. Trust me, bro. I'm using 120 mil at the moment. It's not doing that much. It is doing some. No, you know, let me not lie. It is giving me a bit of relief. I was taking the 180 mil, but it wasn't much different from what was happening. What's this? You can get photovoltaic nose zappers from the pharmacy that works for me. Never heard of that. Never heard of that. No. When I look, I'll try and video myself in the home sauna once. In fact, I won't do that because that sounded creepy. Forget I said that, Gene. Big up yourself, Gene. Don't clip that up. That sounded very creepy. I won't do that. That was that's a pause. That's a big pause, and a why for that as well. Homemade elderflower cordial works wonders. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. Cal, you need to. This is from Chris. Says, Cal, you need to stop using tissue to blow your nose. Lime coal is good for hay fever. What else can I use to blow my nose, bro? I said, why? Yeah, that's a why still. No, I'm not gonna steam. I'm not gonna stream it in the sauna. This is what I mean. I say one thing out of turn, and you guys never let me live it down. This is such a harsh community when you want to be. Such a harsh community. I made a mistake, guys. I made a mistake. Can you please forgive me for that? This is what I mean. Look, Cal Fiddly. This is crazy. How can you call me Cal Fiddly? Mizzy says, blend black seeds mixed with honey and half a lemon. I'll try that as well. Farmer's Market for homemade elderflower. Big up yourself, Gene. I'll try that. Use a t-shirt to blow my nose. What am I, 6? If Stevie did that, I'd get onto him. Cal doing tactic shows on the Steam Windows. That would be insane. Look, people, I'm going to wrap up there. As I said, if you guys can spare another 20 minutes, I'm going to be going live onto my other channel. That is the Sanderson Show, to talk about UFC 317 and recap that. As I said, I'm about 7 subscribers away from 7,000K, and I'd be greatly appreciative if you guys could follow me over there and subscribe to the channel as well. Last super chat says, Ty says at Diddy sauna parties and ting. No. That's a terrible way to end the show, Ty, bro. What are we doing there? Nah, enough love to you all, people. Really enjoyed the show. And I'll be back later tonight with another big up show, probably about 9:30ish. So look out for me there. Maybe even earlier. I might even go about 8:30. We'll see. But definitely be on Big Up again tonight. But stay here. You'll be redirected to the Sanderson Show. And big up to each and every one of you. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Till I see you again. Hold on. Ty says saunas and grabbing sheets. Bun you, Ty, man. You never forget anything, bro. Flipping menace. No, big up to you all. Enough love. Stay safe, stay blessed. Kopish, you're out, people. Take care.